Friends, last two videos onwards we are discussing about the important dynasties in South India. So on that now we are discussing next other some important dynasties in South India. So in that first one here they given, that is Pallavas. Pallavas also one of the important dynasty in South India, and this dynasty ruled around 300 years in South Indian regions. And after that here they saying this Pallava dynasty they adopted Kanchi as the capital. So this Kanchi, this place is located in the state of Tamil Nadu. And here also we can see one of the important king. That king name is here they given Narasimha Varman. So Narasimha Varman is a famous king of Pallava dynasty. So these are the basic information about Pallava dynasty. One is the place they ruled in South India, capital Kanchi, and they ruled around 300 years. And the famous king of this one Pallava dynasty, Narasimha Varman. So now we want to know who is Narasimha Varma, what was the achievements he done. So that only now we want to know. So here they say Narasimha Varma, here they say he have the title name is Mahamalla. Narasimha Varman, he have the title because of he did that much of achievement, so that's why they called as a Mahamalla. And here they say, and he battled against Immadi Pulakeshi and defeated. So this is one of the important achievement done by Narasimha Varman. He defeated by Immadi Pulakeshi. So when he defeated, after that he got the title also. So what he got the title? Here they saying Vatapikonda. So he got the title after the defeat of Immadi Pulakeshi. He got the title. The title name is Vatapikonda. After that, he built one of the new city in South India, especially in Tamil Nadu region. So that one here they given him as a Mambalapura. Mambalapura is Mahabalipuram. This is a poor town. We can see beautiful town. This town built by Narasimha Varman. So this is also one of the important achievement. And when we are discussing about the contributions of Pallava dynasty, we can see they given so much of contribution in style of architectures. We can see they are given various contribution. So one of the important contributions we can see the stone chariots of Narasimha Varman in the period of Mahabalipuram. So this is one of the important achievement or important contributions given by Pallava kings, that is the chariot in the place of Mahabalipuram. And next one point here they saying, after that next one achievement they given as a, and here they say Gangavataram. So this is one of the important contribution they given by Pallava dynasty in the place of Mahabalipuram. Means in the Mahabalipuram temples they draw the structure as a Gangavatara. What they showing that one Gangavatara? That one showing how Bhagiratha he bring Ganga rivers to earth. We all are knowing the holy river of Hinduism, that is Ganga river. How Ganga river they came to earth. So this story narrating by this one Gangavatara. So this also contribution given by Pallava dynastic rulers. So after that we can see not only this one, they are given there are so much of beautiful temples also they are built. So here they given Lord Shiva temple, this one built in Mahabalipuram. And not only this one we can see Pallavas two or more temples we can see. One is Kailasana temple and Vaikunta Perumal temple of Kanchi. So these are the temples given contribution by Pallava dynasty. So now we understood where the Pallava dynasty they found and who is famous king or what was the achievements they done. Famous king is Narasimha Varman. He got some time titles also, Mahamalla and Vatapikonda, and he defeated Immadi Pulakeshi, and he built so many of temples. Not only he, Pallava rulers they built so many of temples, chariot, stone chariots, or we can see Gangavatara, and we can see some of the Shiva temple, Kailas temple, and Perumal temple. So these like they given so much of contribution in the field of architecture also. So these are the main information about Pallava dynasty. So after the Pallava dynasty, we want to know another important dynasty. That one they given him as a Cholas. So Chola is also one of the important dynasty in South India. So that means now we want to know this Chola dynasty they ruled by 4 centuries. 4 centuries means 400 years. Around 400 years they ruled by South Indian places. And here they saying they also adopted capital as a Tanjavuru. This Tanjavur located in the place of Tamil Nadu. And here we can see some of the important kings also. So who are the important kings? Here first one they given Rajaraja Chola, second one is Rajendra Chola. So they both also very famous kings in Chola dynasty. So that means now we want to know each kings. So what was the achievements they done? Why they are calling as a famous kings? So that only now we want to. First one king we want to know. That king name is here they given Rajaraja Chola. So Rajaraja Chola is a famous king in here they given Chola dynasty and effective leaders, and he captured so many places. He is a famous South Indian empire also. So he captured different types of places in south in Tungabhadra rivers too. Here they say in Sri Lanka, Maldives. So these much of areas captured by Rajaraja Chola. So this is one of the important achievement. And next one here they are saying he had a powerful navy and another one is land army force. So both in also very strong base of army force built by Rajaraja Chola. And another contribution of Rajaraja Chola, so that one here they given, he built by Brihadeshwara temple. So this is also one of the important contribution. So after the Rajaraja Chola, we want to know another important king in Chola dynasty. So that one here they given Rajendra Chola. So Rajendra Chola also one of the very powerful king in Chola dynasty. And here they are saying about the information about Rajendra Chola. Rajaraja Chola he captured South Indian places, but Rajendra Chola he extended his empire till North India. He conquered there are different types of places or various places of North Indian region. So this is one of the important achievement. And next one here they are saying, so when he conquered some other regions of North India, he got a title also. So what he got a title? Here they say Gangaikonda. He got a title of Gangaikonda. And next one, in by of his name, his title based on he built by one of the new capital city in his region. So that capital city for the given name as a Gangaikonda Cholapuram. Gangaikonda Cholapuram. So this like of titles they given to that particular capital. So after that here they saying he built one of the new temple, big temple. So that one here they given name as a Shiva temple, and he built lakes also for the purpose of irrigation. So one of the important irrigation purpose for a built lake, that one for best example here they given Chola Gangam. So this is one of the important contribution given by Rajendra Chola. So these like we can see the both kings of Chola dynasty, Rajaraja Chola and Rajendra Chola, both also they are given contribution in the field of architecture and in the place of administrative system. So these like both also very famous kings in Chola dynasty. So after that now we want to know what are the other contribution given by Chola rulers or Chola dynasty based on religious, rural administration, architecture and sculptures. So in that based of information now we want to know. And here when we are discussing about the literature, so contribution of the literature of Chola dynasty, this is the golden period for Tamil literature because of Tamil language is developed. Are they given encouraged the literature or language of Tamilians. So that's why this Chola period they called as the golden period for Tamilians or Tamil language. So that they are saying. And next one point here they are saying on the time devotional publications are they saying devotional literature also developed on the period of Chola dynasty. We can see some of the important contribution given by Chola period in which are the books came on the time based on literature. So here they are saying first one is Periya Purana. So this is one of the important books, devotional books, literature. This also came in the period of Chola dynasty. After that another one is Kamba Ramayana. So Kamba Ramayana, this one written by Kamban. So these like we can see still now this both book is very popular in the place of South India or in the region of Tamil Nadu. So that's why here they are saying in this Chola period the Tamil language is fully developed or Tamil literature fully developed. So that like they are saying. So after that next one another important contribution of Chola dynasty, that is rural administration. So these like of administrations we cannot see in any other dynasty. So this is one of the special contribution given by Chola rulers. That one is public administration. So here they are saying rural administration. So based on rural administration here they are saying the power of village level they are given to representative members of that particular village. For them only they are given full powers. They only want to maintain the administrative system of village and they want to solve and they can implement any programs in village level. So that like a powers they provided to rural administrative representatives. And now we want to who they are electing by that particular representatives or that particular members. So already the Chola dynasty, they maintain a committee that maintain the committee, they maintaining and they selecting who are qualified person that particular post, that particular administrative system. For them they are selecting. And if any one person is not have that much of qualification or quality or attitude, they are not selecting that person as a representatives. So these like of administrative systems we can see in the place of Chola dynasty, and we can see Grama Sabha also in that time. So this only here they saying one of the British officer, he described as a, this one here they say the Chola villages, he described it as a, here they saying as a small republic states, because of what we present we are implemented the panchayat system. This one similar to Chola rulers or Chola rural administration. What we now implemented same type of administrative system, same similar type of administrative system we can see in the period of Chola rulers. So this is one of the biggest contribution given by Chola rulers. So after that we want to know another important contribution of Chola dynasty, that is architecture and sculptures. So what was the architectures they given out, what was the sculptures we can find out in the period of Chola dynasty. So that only now we want to know. And here we want to know, so when we are discussing about the architecture contributions of or sculptures contributions of Chola dynasty, they given so much of contribution. So here they say one of the important contribution, that is statue of Nataraj, and second one here they say Kalinga Mardana Nritya. So this is bronze statue. So this one is given by, this is a precious gift provided by Chola dynasty for Indian architecture. So this is one of the important contribution. And not only this one, we can see one of the important temple, Brihadeshwara temple. We can see that is world famous temple in the place of Tanjavur. So this temple also built by Chola rulers. And this temple tower of Sanctum, we can see total feet of height, that one is 200 feet, that much of height. And this one is very special and precious contributions given by Chola rulers to Indian history. And our UNO, they adapted this this temple or this place as a World Heritage place. So that like they secured that one place, because of that one is very special place, one of the biggest temple and one of the special precious temple. So that's why they adapted as a World Heritage place. So after that we can see another important temple they given contribution, that is Shiva temple in Gangaikonda, Cholapuram. So this also Shiva temple also one of the important contribution provided by Chola dynasty. So these like we can see Chola dynasty also one of the important dynasty in South India, and they adapted Tanjavur as a capital. After that they did so much of achievements, Rajaraja Chola and Rajendra Chola. And one of the important contribution of Chola dynasty, that is rural administration. So these are the important points about Chola dynasty. So after that one Chola dynasty, we want to know another important dynasty in South India. So that one here they give a name as a Rashtrakutas. So Rashtrakutas also one of the important dynasty in South India. And here they say after the Chalukya empire decline, when the Chalukya dynasty is declined, after that one of the new dynasty emerged. So that one is Rashtrakutas. And here they say, here we can see some of the important contributions of Rashtrakutas. Here they given one by one. First one is Kaviraja Marga. This is one of the important book. This book came in the period of Rashtrakutas. And next one Pampa and Kailasanatha temple of Ellora. So these are the important memories we can remember in the period of Rashtrakutas. One is Kaviraja Marga, one of the important book, and Pampa is one of the important writer or poet. And another one is that important temple, Kailasanatha temple in the place of Ellora. So these are the memories we can remember about Rashtrakutas. And now we want to know about these are the one by one information. What is that one? Kaviraja Marga, Pampa and Kailasanatha temple. Why we want to remember? These are the things. So that only now we want to know. So first one here they give, that is Kaviraja Marga. This one Kaviraja Marga, we can see this one book is written in the language of Kannada. Here they say this book is written in the language of Kannada. We can see this one we already discussed in Dhruvanita period of Gangas also we have discussed. Same book we can see, and its book here they saying its books was written in the period of 1200 years ago. This book, this Kaviraja Marga book written in the period of 1200 years ago. So that much years back they written. And next one here they saying during the region of Amogavarsha and Drupatunga. So in that time only they written by Kaviraja Marga, and this one written by Sri Vijaya. So this Kaviraja Marga book written by Sri Vijaya in the period of Amogavarsha Drupatanga. And next one here they saying this is oldest literature book in Kannada till now. Till now we cannot get any Kannada books of ancient period. Only one book we got, that is Kaviraja Marga. So that's why we want to remember about Rashtrakutas. When we are remembering about the Rashtrakutas, we want to know about Kaviraja Marga, because of this is one of the oldest book in Kannada. So this book written by Sri Vijaya in the period of Rashtrakutas ruling time. And another point here they are saying, so why we want to remember about a Pampa, so that only now we want to know. And here Pampa is one of the important Kannada poet, and we can see we are called as a Adikavi. Adikavi means the first poet in Kannada. So this like also we are given the title, and we can see he written so many of books, but still now we are not getting because of that much of old books. So did not secure, so that's why we cannot get that one books. That is no availability for that one books. And we can see there are two important contributions of Pampas. So one is here they given, that one here they given name as a, one is Adi Purana and Vikramarjuna Vijaya, and he came in the court of Adikesari. In the period of Arikesari, in the period of Arikesari, when they started to rule, so he is a feudatory king of Rashtrakutas. So on that time only Pampa he came and he written some of the books. One is Adi Purana, second one is here they given Vikramarjuna Vijaya. And Vikramarjuna Vijaya, this one called as the Pampa Bharata also. And this Pampa Bharata or Vikramarjuna Vijaya, this one saying story about of Mahabharata. And this is one of the very sourceable books about the incident of Mahabharata. We are getting so much of information. So that's why we want to remember always Pampa. And next one, in that same period we can see another poet also came. That poet name is Ponna. He also came in same period. Okay. After that we can see, after the Pampa, we want to remember another place, that is Kailasa temple. So why we want to remember about this one temple? Here they say Kailas temple. So because of this is one of the important temple. We can see in the place of Ellora and elephant. So here they say this Kailas temple, this one located in the place of Ellore. So this one built by 100 feet of single rock. This one cut and they given some of the architecture. So in that based only they built by Kailasa temple. Means a single rock. 100 feet of big long single rocks they take. After that they cut that one rocks and they built as a temple. So this is one of the important wonderful temples we cannot see in world in any other places. We can see only one place, that is in Ellora. So that much of special precious temples we can see, we can found in the period of, here is saying, Rashtrakutas. And this temple built by Krishna I. And we can see here, we can see one of the important incident we can find out in that particular temple. That one in statues they narrating the story. So that one here they saying Ravana lefting a Kailasapuram. So this is one, sorry, Kailasa Parvata. So this is one of the important incident narrating by this one Kailasa temple. Ravana, how he left a Kailasa Parvata. So that only narrating by these stories we can see in the place of Kailasa. So this is one of the important contribution. And elephant cave temples also we can see in the place of, this also constructed by Rashtrakutas. And next one here they saying we can see this one elephant located in small island near of Mumbai. So this is also one of the huge and wonderful statues. We can see that one is three-faced Maheshamurti. Three-faced Maheshamurti also came or they built in the period of Rashtrakutas. So these like Rashtrakuta, when we are discussing about the Rashtrakutas, they given contribution about the language of Kannada as well as temples. So these like we can see, we want to remember always Rashtrakutas. Because of one of the oldest book came in the period of Rashtrakutas period only. And one of the important first poet in Kannada, he also came in Rashtrakuta period. And what we are seeing in world in one of the beautiful temple, that temple also came in the period of Rashtrakutas. So that's why we want to remember always Rashtrakuta. And next one we want to know the famous kings of Rashtrakutas. We can see some of the famous kings here. So here we can see one of the first king of Rashtrakutas, that is Dhruva. He was one of the famous king. After that, Govinda III. So he also become very famous king in Rashtrakuta dynasty. So that means we want to know information about Govinda III. So what was the achievements he done? And after that, who are they came? What was the achievement they also done? So that only now we want to know. So Govinda III is a famous king in Rashtrakuta dynasty. And he stretched his empire till Himalaya region. And next one important information here, they saying about the Govinda III in based on inscriptions. When he traveled, or here they saying he did war, elephants tasted the water of river Ganga. So that like of information they given in inscriptions also. So these like we can see Govinda III also one of the important ruler in South India, and he extended his empire till Himalaya regions. So after this one we can see another important king in Rashtrakutas. So that one here they given Amogavarsha Nrupatunga. He is a son of Govinda III. Nrupatunga is a son of Govinda III's son. And he also very famous kings we can see. So at the age of 14 years he got the post of king. So he ruled totally 60 years in Rashtrakuta. And he given so much of contribution also. And here they say he is a great scholar, as well as we can see in his fort we can see one of the important writer, that is Sri Vijaya. He written by Kaviraja Marga. We all are knowing. So this Kaviraja Marga Sri Vijaya came in the period of Amogavarsha Nrupatunga period. And we can see Nrupatunga is one of the talented person. He always given importance about development of that particular dynasty. So in that about only they given more interest. And we can see built one of the new city in Kalburgi district. So that one is given Manyaketa. Present in we can see Malakeda of Kalburgi district. So this one now at the time of when they built Amogavarsha Nrupatunga, this one Manyaketa, on the time they adapted this place as a capital. So now we understood that means the Rashtrakutas capital is Manyaketa. This city built by Amogavarsha Nrupatunga. So after that here they say, so when they started to rule, so on that time here they saying one of the important incident. So one of the Persian ambassador, here they saying Suleiman is a Persian traveler. He came to India. So when he came, he observed the administrative system of Rashtrakutas. So after that he written in book that one, what he written means, this Rashtrakutas empire is one of the important empire in 4 large empires in the world. In 4 large empires in world, in one of the important empire, that is Rashtrakutas. That means other empires, which are the empires we can see, one is Roman, Arab and Chinese. So among these, Rashtrakutas is also one of the important and greatest empire in world. So that way he written his book. So after that we want to know next one important person came, king, famous king. That king name is here they given Krishna III. So he also one of the important ruler in Rashtrakuta dynasty. So this Krishna III is one of the famous king. And next one here they say he defeated by Chola dynasty and he extended his empire till South India, here they say till Rameshwaram. And when he got the success, after that he built a pillar to remember of this one success or this one victory of that one war. So in that purpose he built a pillar. So after that here they say, and he defeated by Pandyas and Cheras, and he defeated by Simbala, the king of Simbalas. And next one here they saying he got some of the money with of that particular dynasty. And next one here they say he also given so much of attack in North India also, and they captured some of the place. And when the Krishna III started to rule, on that time only we can see one of the important king in Kannada. So that one poeter name here they given name as a Ponna. Ponna also came in this period in only. He also given so much of contribution in the literature of Kannada, the language of Kannada. So after that we want to know, so when the Krishna III is dead, so after that the Rashtrakuta dynasty also become decline or become weak. So that like they say. So next one we want to know, that means the religious contributions of Rashtrakutas. So when we are discussing about the Rashtrakutas religion, most of the people they followed by Vedikas, they worshipped by Shiva and Vaishnava trends. So both also they started to worship, and we can see inscriptions they giving information about the Rashtrakutas rulers. They given encourage to Jainism as well as Buddhism also. Especially Amogha Nrupatunga, in this period the Jainism is become very powerful in his court or in his dynasty. So that like they saying, and not only this one, we can see Rashtrakutas they have good relationship with Arab countries. So that's why we can see they kept some of the officers in his court. Rashtrakutas they kept some of the officers of Arabians in their court. This only showing that only they have religious tolerance, means they believe that all are equal. So these like of concepts we can see in the period of Rashtrakutas. So that means now we understood about the Rashtrakutas. So when we are discussing about the Rashtrakutas, we want to remember there are 3 points. One is Kaviraja Marga, second one is Pampa and Kailasa temple. And we are discussed the famous kings of Rashtrakutas. We have discussed about Dhruva, after that Govinda III, Amogha Nrupatunga and Krishna III. And we have discussed about religious tolerance of Rashtrakutas. So these are the information. So next class we can discuss about next other some important South Indian rulers. Okay, thank you.